imagine stars falling from the skies and meteors crushing through the earth and the mountains turning to dust and great chasms all over and the world is in fire. This is only one theory of how the world is going to end, and there are many in the world today. And today I'm going to cover 3 different ways that people believe the world is going to end. And so I've done studies over this and done research and watched videos to learn more about this so that I'm informed enough to be able to talk about this today. And so the 3 different ways I'm going to talk about today are the possibility of a polar switch where the north and south poles will switch sides and all the damage that it could cause. Also talk about solar flare from the sun causing an EMP. And I'm also going to talk about an international dispute with America and the Middle East over oil. And so my first idea is the possibility of a magnetic polar switch, where scientists have proved and have shown studies that the poles do switch and had before, and they do this roughly 300,000 years apart. And it's been about 700,000 years since the last time it did. So some people have come to the possibility that we are overdue and that this is going to happen. And so the causes and what could happen are people believe that it'll be a massive earthquake when this happens. So all structures, buildings will be torn to rubble. There'll be nothing left. Roads will be destroyed. And so with that, food won't be able to be distributed to countries, riots will panic, people will begin pillaging other villages, other cities, because they won't have any food, people freak out. But then also, with the polar switch, they believe that land masses will also move. And so such as Texas would be shifted northward towards the Canada region. So once always warm and hot, Texas would probably become a cold climate. And then places like Mexico might actually shift towards Antarctica and become colder regions. And so that's one way people think the world is going to end. Another way is a solar flare EMP from the sun, because magnetic activity on the sun will cause with sunspots will mix together and they create solar flares, which people believe will cause an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse, which everything in its range electrically is shut off. And so on the sun's range, that would literally destroy all electrical and devices. The whole planet would be out of electricity, save for maybe natural resources like wind energy and such. But I found this information from National Geographic. They have a video called Doomsday Preppers. And so I've watched the videos many times to learn the information that they give. And I also went to a website, listverse.com, and they back up what National Geographic scientists have said. So those together I've used to pull together information. But with the EMP, all electrical devices would be shut down. Planes would crash without the electrical abilities. But also with that, since solar flares are magnetically based, people also believe the poles would switch due to this magnetic activity. And so we've actually talked about what would happen if the magnetic pole switched. So a solar flare could actually cause, in theory, 2 apocalypses in itself. And so now that I've talked about that, I'll talk about my third and final way, which isn't quite as galactically based or more earthly, it's more international. Many people believe that the Middle East conflict will cause all our oil suppliers to shut us off. And so America without oil is kind of a dangerous idea, because all our factories, everything we pretty much create and base off is run by oil. So without oil, we can't have gas, we can't transport food and supplies to cities. Cities would pretty much die out, kind of like in the Western days, no one would be there. Riots would happen, people would be fighting for food, killing each other, attacking, a lot of dangerous possibilities. And so all electricity, all sources would be destroyed. And so I've talked about 3 different ideas, even though there are many possible apocalyptic ways. One is a magnetic polar switch, which would cause earthquakes and landmass movements. The second way was a solar EMP, which would shut off all electrical devices, pretty much putting America back in the Stone Age. And then my third idea was international conflict between America and the Middle East, cutting off all of our oil supply and crippling American productivity. So whether you believe one way or another of how the world will end, those are three different ways that some people do believe. So take it however you wish, however what way you believe. Some people are out there that believe that. Thank you.